Hi guys and welcome back to the kingdom. I hope you've all had positive and productive weeks this week. So this week we're talking about dangerous and unhealthy fictional relationships. Now this video is part of a mini-series that I'm going to be doing over the next 3 weeks. This week we're going to be talking about dangerous and unhealthy relationship tropes. Next week we're going to be talking about irritating relationship tropes, and I'd like to specify the difference. And then we're going to talk about why writing about healthy relationships is actually really sexy. This is by no means an exhaustive list, and obviously it's open to interpretation and all of those different cool things, but I have noticed in media lately, while reading books, watching TV, there have been some disturbing behaviours portrayed as romantic, and to be honest, I think they're dangerous. That's not to say that I'm against media presenting unhealthy relationships, absolutely not. I think it's important to educate people, and sometimes the best way to educate people is through a medium of art such as books and TV. However, they are presenting these unhealthy behaviours and relationships as though they are the dream, as though they are the goal. So people are going out there thinking that's what they should be looking for. So today I thought I would call out some of the common behaviours that I've seen on TV and in books recently and see if you guys agreed with me. And again, this is by no means an exhaustive list. So let's do this. So, quick disclaimer before we start, I love romantic relationships. I love seeing romance portrayed on screen. I love seeing healthy romances portrayed on screen. I even like seeing breakups and all the different hardships that couples go through because it resonates with me so much. It is something that I can connect with and I can experience, and so can most of the people on the planet. I'm just a sucker for love. I love love, and the more of it, the better. I have an issue when dysfunctional or unhealthy behaviours are presented on TV as though they are desirable or the goal or the golden standard that people should be aiming for. I find it particularly distressing when this behaviour turns up in medium that is meant for younger or more impressionable audiences because you have a real chance of damaging what they think a functional relationship looks like. Because essentially what this does is you teach your audience that this is what they should be looking for. This is what they should be trying to obtain. This is the behaviour they should expect from their partner if their partner loves them, and the behaviour that they should be showing towards their partner in return. So the following is a list of behaviours that I would like to stop seeing being portrayed in the media as romantic, cute or desirable. Number 1, obsession. And this can go both ways. The first one is where your MC is totally and completely all consumed with another character or their love interest and basically ceases to function, ceases to have any external thoughts, desires or ambitions because suddenly they are fixated on one person. It also goes in reverse where somebody else has this towards your MC. They seem to have no other qualities except that they are determined to get with your MC. They seem to have no original personality, or they seem to have forfeited all original personality in favour of being with or appealing to their romantic interest, who may or may not have already rejected them. They change who they are, how they dress, what they like, what they're into. They maybe even give up on lifelong dreams in favour of being with their romantic love interest. They essentially start to act like being with this person is the only reason they're going to keep breathing. Then, in some cases, they eventually do get together, and even if it's not dangerous behaviour, it is nauseatingly and dangerously codependent. They can't go to the bathroom without talking to each other about it. They can't spend 5 minutes not texting this person. When they're together, they're practically making out on each other's lap in public around their friends. It's just really yucky, even if the behaviour isn't necessarily dangerous in itself. Number 2 behaviour that I'd like to stop seeing is grand romantic gestures that aren't romantic. We've all seen it in rom-coms. They're running through the airport, desperate to talk to their love interest before they board the plane and leave the country forever, and oh my gosh, isn't that so cute? Well, in circumstances, it's really not. In fact, it's really weird. In fact, it's really creepy. In fact, I find this a lot because I don't know whether you guys watch a lot of rom-coms. I have seen my fair few, and often the couple that are making these grand romantic gestures to each other, they've only been together for a couple of days, which is definitely not enough to change your entire life plan for. Your MC or your love interest will go to huge and quite frankly creepy lengths to try and prove their affections towards the other person. They'll find out maybe one of their goals or something that they absolutely adore, and then they go hugely out of their way in a completely inappropriate manner in order to deliver this to their love interest. And oftentimes they do this without consulting the MC or anyone who knows the MC or anyone who could give the MC a little bit of a heads up, just so you know that creepy dude over there is practically planning out your life right now. An example of this, say your MC loves art. Maybe they adore art and they dream of going to this one particular art school, and in the course of the story it turns out that they can't go because their father's ill. So the love interest, as a grand romantic gesture, will steal her portfolio, go all the way to this art school, insist on seeing the dean himself, put the portfolio in front of the dean, and the dean will write a personal acceptance letter to the MC because they're so impressed. That's creepy and unbelievable. Number one reason why it's unbelievable is because when the MC finds out, they're not furious. I don't know about you guys, I would be absolutely steaming if somebody did this. Instead, she acts like it's the most amazing thing that could ever happen because they broke into her house and stole her artwork and then travelled across the country to change the course of her life, even though she's chosen to stay with her father who needs her help. It's like, are you kidding me? This is so inappropriate, so unacceptable in terms of behaviour, and frankly just incredibly creepy and controlling. Which gets me onto the third behaviour I'd like to stop seeing in literature as though it's cute. And this one is very personal to me because people I know, two separate people I know, have gone through very scary, very dangerous instances of this, and that's stalking. Now, I'm not going to make too many jokes in this segment because, like I've said, it is an extremely serious subject, and I don't think that currently enough attention is paid to victims of stalking, particularly young, vulnerable women. It is a serious, dangerous crime that is not taken seriously enough. That's my opinion, and I understand that some people out there will have had brilliant experiences with receiving help from stalking, but from my own experiences with my friends and my family, there isn't the support there. Here is what I want to say. Stalking is not romantic. It is terrifying. It is terrifying. It is damaging. It's distressing. And most importantly, most of the time, it's deadly for the victim. If you're not murdered, if you're not attacked or assaulted, you will likely be left with emotional scars that will haunt you for a very, very long time. It is not romantic for you to drop everything that you're doing in order to follow your crush around, hoping that they'll see this commitment as perseverance and fall madly in love with you. If I look up from my desk and I see you at work, and then I see you at my gym, and then I see you at my supermarket, and standing outside my dentist waiting for me, I'm going to be extremely creeped out. Stalking is a crime. It is not romantic, and it is very dangerous. Even if you claim to be following me for my protection, I don't know if any of you guys have read like supernatural love interest novels where this has been the case, where I'm following you for your protection. I don't care. It's dangerous, it's creepy, and it's not. What's worse than that is a lot of the time the MC will clearly and verbally object to the stalking behaviour, but the person committing that behaviour will brush it off in the name of protection, in the name of keeping that person safe. No. If someone voices an objection in fiction, that objection should be listened to, full stop. In fact, I'm going to make a personal plea to any writers out there. If in your book your main character voices an objection or asks someone to stop something, please can you make the other character apologise and actually stop, because it sets such a good example to audiences about how, sure, people can make mistakes, sure, people can get overzealous, but good, healthy relationships will recognise boundaries, recognise when people ask them to stop something, and they can still move forwards if that's what people want. Please show the difference between stalking and caring and what healthy relationships look like. Okay, moving on to something a little bit lighter. The number 4th behaviour that really gets on my nerve is this ownership idea. And this is freakishly common. Now, the occasional "you're mine" or I'm yours said in love or amazing moments is absolutely fine. You are my world, you are my sunshine. It's cliche, but also it's fine. See if you can hear the difference with these though. I own you. You belong to me. Heck to the no. Now we get that some people are into this kind of thing as a sort of kink, and that's private between you and zero judgment on that. That's fine. If that's something you've talked about and you've consented to, absolutely fine. But if it's in literature and that conversation hasn't also been in the literature, then please take it out. Treating me like property isn't romantic. It's a sign that you're a controlling douchebag. Number 5 romantic trope that I find disturbing is the hot mean guy. This can also be the mean girl, of course, but I find in fiction it's more common that the guy is an absolute arse. Now, of course, it's absolutely fine to have arseholes in fiction. After all, we need villains, and generally they display a lot of that kind of behaviour. However, in this case, I'm talking about the fact that this character is presented as desirable because of the fact that they're a douche. His harsh words, his cruel nature make him hot? I don't know about you guys out there, I don't know about any of the other women or men or anyone out there, but if someone that I was dating or seeing told me that I was fat, or insulted my intellect, or insulted someone that I cared about, or badmouthed someone that I cared about, I am not turned on by that, and I don't know very many people who are. In fact, if someone did that, I'm about to start swinging some fists. And number 6 behaviour that I wish I would stop seeing is one that I've touched on briefly, but it is about listening to objections. And honestly, this might be one of my biggest pet peeves of all because it is just so prolific in literature. And this behaviour might actually be worse than all of them because it's often combined with one of the above behaviours and makes it worse. Basically, in this kind of scenario, your character will object to probably one of the behaviours we've talked about previously in the video, and that objection gets completely ignored or overruled. Often people will laugh it off, they'll be told that the character's overreacting, maybe even the character that's raised the objection will try and raise it as a joke, or try and point out that the behaviour is weird but doesn't take it seriously. Maybe the best friend will scream out, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute that he's doing this!" No! Their objection, their rejection of this behaviour is quickly swept under the rug and ignored. But kudos, you brought it up, you mentioned it was weird. We're just going to completely ignore that and pretend it's absolutely fine. The problem that this presents is kind of that it's pseudo-acceptable to completely ignore someone else's rejection of that behaviour. It puts into people's minds that this behaviour can't really be wrong if everybody's just kind of accepting it even though the rejection was raised. Because if it was truly wrong, then it would stop, right? I mean, you've brought the argument up, so it's been addressed, and the behaviour's continued. So that's okay, right? Wrong. And the problem is, like with all of the above, life mimics art. So if rejections start going ignored in art, they'll start going ignored in real life. If my friends start telling me about some kind of behaviour that their partner or someone that they're dating is exhibiting, and it sounds like any of the items previously mentioned in this video, I'm not going to squeal and go, "Oh my gosh, cute!" I'm going to be like, "Honey, that sounds creepy, and why the heck have you not got out of there?" Rejection and people saying no should be taken seriously in art because life emulates art. And as such, if you have clear and firm lines in one, maybe you'll start seeing that translate over into the other. Anyway, that's all I've got time for this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Yes, I know it's been a pretty serious topic, but I do really feel better having got all of that off my chest and having discussed it because it's just been disturbing me of late. Like I've said, not an exhaustive list, also is my opinion, and like I said, again, everything is open to interpretation. It is about scenarios, it is about what your book is about, but you know, these are just general things that I've noticed lately. This is also, as I said at the beginning of the video, part of a mini sort of trilogy. So next week we'll be talking about behaviours that I find irritating. Now these are not behaviours that like are bad, like this one, which I think are dangerous and unhealthy? Is it just ones that I find really irritating or overdone or like tropey? So it's a much lighter video next week, and I hope you guys will enjoy that. If you have enjoyed this video, please let me know. Like, subscribe, follow my social media channels, and put a comment down below. If you have any other behaviours you think that I failed to mention, let me know. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if you guys like really want it, because honestly there are a lot of behaviours, even just non-romantic ones, just general behaviours that come up in fiction that I'm just always questioning the validity of. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have positive and productive weeks, and I'll see you all next time for another book chapter video. Bye!